So next would be edge computing servers, and these are, of course, devices or servers that you own. They're able to operate at the edge closest to where the information is going to be absorbed, is going to be consumed. So they're able to deploy workloads close to the data source for real-time processing, and obviously there's a few advantages there. There's low latency for time-sensitive AI applications. In other words, we don't have to transmit the data all the way back to a centralized server to be processed or to use it for training data for AI systems. We can do so at the edge closer to where the data is going to be consumed. So therefore, you have bandwidth optimization by processing some of the data locally. It's very efficient if you have those kinds of use cases. The challenges would be normally there's limited compute power compared to centralized platforms. You're running on a device, so it's a Raspberry Pi, it's a thermostat, it's a processor that's in an automobile. Complex decentralized management, you have to maintain these devices, you have to update the firmware, you have to update the operating systems, and if you have tens of thousands of them, that can be a logistical challenge. The cost would be high development costs in setting these things up, but moderate operational costs based on the usage model. So keep in mind, many of these devices are going to be the cheapest computing power you could buy. They're going to be a $30 Raspberry Pi, for example, or some sort of low-end device that has its own processor, has its own operating system, and it has its own storage system, but it's very low cost. And the reason that's a good thing is because you're buying many thousands of these things to become your edge computing based device ecosystem. And in many cases, people like to and find it's very advantageous, certainly in an agentic AI fashion, to run agents within these edge devices. So if you have 10,000 devices in your particular ecosystem, whatever you're doing for that, for example, managing a supply chain, running a factory, things like that, then you can actually put agents in these particular devices that can carry out a particular persona at the agent level. But of course, we have to run 10,000 agents. So we have to update them, we have to maintain them, we have to secure them, we have to govern them. So all that stuff really kind of falls on the architect and the developers who are making that happen. But in some situations, it's absolutely the perfect architecture you need for particular use cases when you have a widely distributed system and where the information can be processed at the point and it doesn't have to be sent all the way back to a centralized system.